It is Thursday night. Guess what time it is? Same cast, different day podcast. I'm Martel Roland.
And I'm Tina. Time for the percolator.
All she got, that's all she got for y'all. She's like, I'm Tina. Oh, so to kick this show off, first of all we want to do a RIP to the guy who was flying a plane in Watertown here. It's a little city here in Wisconsin who was flying a plane in Watertown. And we guessing he had some type of emergency in the air, and his plane crashed. And you know what's crazy? The crazy part. So this teenage boy, I guess he was at home by himself. The plane crashed in his backyard. He said all he heard was a loud explosion. I wouldn't know what to do if I was sitting in my house and a plane was just a crash in my backyard. Like, what the fuck do you do? He was calm enough to call 911 and shit. Like, I wouldn't have been that calm. I'd have been too busy running.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it, y'all. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Torian agrees with me. He said he wouldn't be able to do it either. So I want to get into this clip before we get to the other topics. It's two different clips that I have. So I'm going to play the first one for y'all, and then we're going to discuss it. So here we go.
A white minority deciding that they're not going to listen to the will of the people in their town and coup the government. New Bern, Alabama, a small black majority town that has always been governed by the white minority. The mayorship has just been handed down from friend to friend without any election. Patrick Braxton decided that he wanted to run for mayor, got no answers from the incumbent regime, so he ended up going to state level authorities and he was able to get on the ballot. The previous mayor didn't file any of the paperwork to be on the ballot, and so he wasn't. Patrick Braxton was elected mayor of New Bern, Alabama. The former government ignored the election. Now they're saying that
No, actually, we had a different election and we won that election.
Patrick Braxton won. He won the election because he was the only person on the ballot.
Huh.
So this made me wonder, how long has this been going on, and why hasn't no government official or wherever on the state level figured out that there was no elections going on in this city or whatever for mayor and stuff like that? Like, what?
They didn't care.
So I might have to do a follow up. So I'm wondering, like, so did he actually get? Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. Did he actually get power? Like, is he actually running his city as the mayor, or is there going to be a civil war in his little city? Is what I want to know. I'm just saying, but I'm pretty sure by the city, I guess, being majority African American, we already know who's gonna win that war. And I feel like if they needed some backup, they'd call in the boys from Chirac to come help. It's just what I'm thinking. I'm just saying. But with that being said, we're gonna head into that next clip.
Very bad news for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. His approval is collapsing as the anti-woke movement is in a free fall in the United States. So let's back it up. I already told you that anti-woke may be a very silly approach to the 2024 presidential campaign. And we are seeing loss after loss after loss for the anti-woke movement. In the last 10 days on the program, I told you a judge has blocked the Florida ban on gender-affirming care for trans youth. Says, not going to stand. Tennessee's anti-drag bill has been blocked. Gay marriage is as popular as ever in the United States. Utah's book ban backfired and led to the Bible being banned in some schools. and the Book of Mormon under consideration for a ban. And now we learn that Ron DeSantis' approval rating has collapsed. As Newsweek reports, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has seen his approval rating fall dramatically 2 weeks after announcing his 2024 presidential bid. According to online polling company Civix's dynamic approval rating graph, DeSantis currently has a net approval rating of negative 19. That means 55% disapprove, 36 approve. That's minus 19. The data shows DeSantis has a major unfavorable rating from those 18 to 34, women, African Americans, and importantly, the Hispanic Latino population of Florida. In comparison, he was even. He was 47-47 approval, disapproval in early December. So 47-47 means 0, right? 55-36 means minus 19. This is potentially very bad for DeSantis.
Yay!
You know, I don't like that guy anyway.
We know you don't like that guy, but to hear, I saw your face when he said the negative 19. You was like,
that's what he get. That's what his ass get.
Right? Because I'm like, dude, why are you just fucking with people? Like you talking about Florida is where woke goes to die, and apparently Florida is where your career goes to die at this point. And I like that they I didn't know until I watched this video that the ban on drag in Tennessee that got tossed out by the federal court. So I'm very happy about that. The gender affirming care for teenagers. So what I have found out during their teenage years, I guess they can get like the hormones and all the other kind of stuff, but they don't get the surgery until after they're like, I guess, considered legal adults, which is, I think is good. So that means it's, even though they took these hormones and stuff and they didn't go and get the operation, and that they decide to change their mind, you know, like, this is something I don't want to do. They had the time to make up their mind and really figure out if it's something that they really wanted. So I like that.
So I know in practice, the one provider that does prescribe hormones for transition, you have to be on, that's what they want you to do. They want you to do the hormones. Then you got to have, different types of evaluations. And then you go and get your surgery, top or bottom, or top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I feel like, kind of within that age where an individual decides that they want to transition, I feel like that's a good, a good stepping stone, start taking, because it's a lot of going back and forth with the hormones to make sure that it's working for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then just getting through all the red tape to get to your surgery. It takes time. It takes a lot longer than what people think, if it's done the right way.
I totally agree. There are some people who probably rush through the process. So a question that I have. So say like you are a person who waited till later in life and decided to start the transition. Do they still have to go see a therapist and all this other kind of stuff? Yes. And do they have the option to skip the hormone phase and just go straight into surgery?
So I've never seen it in our practice where they skip. You have to have, that's a requirement that the surgeon has most of the time. Is you go through your therapy or whatever. And I haven't seen in our practice where nobody goes straight to the surgery. Like everybody wants to be on hormones. So you got the films that you put underneath your tongue and dissolve, or most people do the injections. So, and they do that for a while, and you have to go get lab tests and this, that, and the other, and so it can get expensive, but your insurance will cover it if your provider bills it correctly, I should say. And they're not lying or anything like that. But for as far as I know, the insurance is covering it, and then the medication is covered under the patient's insurance as well. Now, as far as the surgery itself, I'm not sure. As far as the surgery itself, I'm not sure about that. How much it's going to be covered. But yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, I know of some people that went straight and got surgery, which I don't feel like was a good thing, because now, and I want to believe that they did kind of begin on surgery. I mean, on hormones, and wasn't really compliant or stopped it, or what have you. But you got to actually go to a good provider that cares about your health, because going on hormones, coming off of it, without proper medical supervision can be very hard on your body. So you have to. They'll give like a month supply. You got to come in and get labs to check your levels, like estrogen and testosterone, and until they get to a therapeutic level where you actually start to see results. And a lot of times, it take a while, depending on the person, for them to start seeing results from using the hormones, right? And then, because I mean, you can have. I would think that you probably could find a surgeon that will do it, But I'm thinking in my head, like, kind of like, what's the point? I feel like surgery is the last step to me, because you're just gonna have that piece, and then the rest of the pieces are missing. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because I wonder, some people be like, well, I already look feminine, so I don't feel like I need the surgery. I mean, the hormones, or I don't want to do the hormones right now because I feel like I look feminine. So I'm just going to go ahead and just get the surgery. Which I'm like,
I don't think it's a good idea. I wouldn't.
Because I've seen some people where you could tell, like, I don't know if they actually took the hormones. They just look very, so like, it's like they transition to females, or call themselves transitioning to females, and they would still look very manly, but then you got these huge ass boobs. So that's why I was wondering, like, so do some people just go like straight into surgery when they decide at a later age in life?
So, like I said, I haven't seen a medical professional in my clinic okay it, and I've seen quite a lot. But then I also feel like going female to male, it's a lot easier than male to female, just because females already carry some levels of testosterone in their system. So it's easy for them to transition, versus males don't have, the female hormones like estrogen and all of that in their bodies. So it's a little bit harder on their bodies to transition from male to female. And then you also have people that's having a facial feminizing surgery, which I think is pretty cool, and it's really beautiful when it's done subtly. Just a little, just a little here, a little there. It can really change a person's face. But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to skip steps. So I think, them saying you got to be at least 18 until you have a gender affirming surgery. I think I feel like that's pretty. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good.
Alrighty. Well, lady, I guess it hasn't yet to be confirmed, but I guess we could say congratulations, considering that a lot of other news outlets ran with this, even the local news station where we live at ran with this. So I guess we could say congratulations to Tyler Perry, who bought BET. He now part of the deal, he would have on BET, ET Plus, and VH1. So this will be
Black
the first
excellence.
time that BET will be ran by uh someone that's black, since they sold it, since Bob Johnson sold it. I want to say about, was it 12, 13 years ago, maybe even longer, maybe 15 years ago, somewhere around there. I believe around 2007, 2008, somewhere before. I know it was before 2010 where he sold BET. So with that being said, would Tyler Perry make BET great again? And it's my
Yeah.
first questions.
Yeah.
And if so, here's my. Please don't turn it into um a soap, like the soaps where you just play like TV shows like soaps all day on there. Um, can you please bring back black music to BET? Because in a way, I feel like for like R&B singers, both male and females, because some of their voices isn't so good with pop music or EM or techno. That's their genre. They don't have anywhere to go to promote that music. Like it's some of these artists who has put out albums and worked on probably very hard on them albums, and nobody really knew they came out unless they have like a diehard fans who follow them on social media. So I feel like BET was an outlet for people, R&B singers, to be able to get new fans. And if I don't know if that makes sense, like it was a way for them, like more people to know about their music and be able to hear their music, even for rap artists. If it was for 106 in Park in the early 2000s, I probably would not know half the rap artists that was out during that time. Hip hop artists, I'm gonna correct myself. Hip hop artists that was out during that time period, I wouldn't have known about them. And like I said, VH1, MTV, they played some hip hop music. It depended on the time of day they would play it, but like BET was the place to go to learn about more hip hop music and hear what the latest music was when it came to black culture. And please, Tyler Perry, can you turn BET Awards back into the BET Awards again?
Yeah, I started watching the BET Awards a while ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I think the last time I watched the BET Awards was 2012 or 13.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I watched it that soon either.
It was whatever the year after Kelly did Motivation at the BET Awards. That's what I started. I watched the year after she had her year, and then after that I was like, yeah, I'm done. Because I think during that time period, Nicki Minaj was winning the same award every year. I can't say last year was an improvement. Um, um, I liked Lotto's performance. To me, I didn't know that she danced. So that was my first time actually seeing her perform, like by herself, and I didn't know that she danced, and I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I was really entertained by her.
So I've been following Lotto since she was underground because she can spit, like her rhymes. I don't know if she write her own music, but I know since she been underground, she been spitting,
Okay.
I don't think because I feel like because she was an underground artist and she rose to fame rather quickly, and she's young, right? She's like early 20s, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I feel like that was a whole lot of time to get used to how things are being done differently. I'm sorry, y'all.
Tori, he's just happy. That's all, y'all. He's just happy.
So I'm happy for her, and I do feel like she is putting in a great effort to perfect her craft. I know it had been some talks on like social media where people didn't enjoy her performance. And then I know she teamed up with Tiana Taylor, and they're saying her performance has gotten a lot better, which is great. So I love to see Black women supporting Black women, so that's great. And I wish the best to her. I mean,
because I feel like her, and I feel like when her and Megan Thee Stallion burst onto the scene, they made female hip hop entertaining to watch. If you know what I mean, because I feel like okay, we did have Nicki Minaj, but I feel like Nicki Minaj just dominated the rap scene for so long, and it felt like towards the end, yeah, her act kind of got stale, and it's like she didn't know how to see. Nicki Minaj, I feel like she's at that point in her career where she kind of needs to reinvent herself a little bit, you know, to make herself more, make people want to watch her. Should I say?
Yeah, I mean, so when she came out on the scene, what she was doing when she was performing was good enough because she was like in character, like she had an alter ego.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we liked. You know, Nikki can spit as well, you know, and I feel like that's just more of her style where she's more she's more hardcore, I feel like, than Lotto or than Lotto. Megan can be hardcore, you know what I'm saying? She can definitely be hardcore. But I feel like Nicki Minaj is less of an entertainer when she's on stage.
Yeah, but for that time period, that's all we had was just Nicki, and then it was like Cardi came onto the scene, and then Megan Thee Stallion came, and then it was like Lotto came. So it's like I feel like the scene is only being dominated by them four women right now when it comes to female hip hop. And like I said, like to me, they have made watching female hip hop entertainers entertaining. Like so to me, like, and the one thing I could give them there is that going to like one of their shows, I feel like you'll get a concert compared to a male hip hop entertainer. Where is to me, I feel like male hip hop concerts are boring because I'm like, it's just a bunch of dudes standing up on stage singing rapping to an MP3. That is not entertaining. Like I can give it to Nikki, like she has live bands at her show. We heard Lotto rap to a live band, so it was just I feel like they have put more creativity and more into their performances, and I feel like because male hip hop artists feel like they got to be so thug and hardcore every time, like they can add those elements to their shows, and I'm like see at a certain point Snoop Dogg start caring and he be out there hitting his two steps and stuff. So I'm just saying, y'all need like these hip hop artists, y'all need to stop being scared to put on a damn show. Like y'all be like I know some of these hip hop artists be like, oh well, if Beyonce's charging $3,000 or $2,000 for a front row ticket, I know I can. Like, sir, nobody's gonna pay $2,000 to watch you walk around back and forth on stage rapping to your own MP3.
With your pants sagging down over your ass, where all the niggas from the block on the stage with you, like it's a bar. Like I went to the corner bar, and everybody, and it's karaoke night.
That's exactly what it feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. So Tyler Perry, make BET great again. We're gonna steal, that Cheeto Man slogan and ask you to make it great again.
And I mean, I'm really looking forward to this because I haven't really watched BET in a long time. Now, get some of the movies on there, get some of the Up and Rising movies. Hell, bring some of the Tubi movies on there, or, he got his own production company, right? Oh, it's going to be lit.
Yeah, he can produce his own shows on there. And I feel like, and this is another thing I feel like with BET, like a lot of these people who are up and coming writers, I feel like this would be a good chance for him to like help those writers get put out there. Like, you know what? I got my own network. I have these shows. I need writers. And then to know him, he might pay them a decent wage because I believe there's still a writer's strike that's going on right now because they feel like they're not being paid enough money. So as far as that strike going on still, it looks like, so any show that's supposed to come on in September and October has now been probably pushed back because there's no scripts. So even like talk shows and everything, like all that stuff is going to be off the air till this writer strike is over. So we're going to be, come whenever we think that, my show coming back, it ain't coming back. Until this role writers thing is over. And it's crazy because it'll be like, You know, these writers, they put like a lot of time and effort into this stuff. And so, you know, these people, they're like you look at like some of the actors on there or some of the producers and stuff, like, or even the network that's you know televising it on their show. So say, you know, the network say, you know, for one season we made $120 million off the show for one season, and out of that $120 million, the writer would receive what, 10,000 at the most, 10, 20,000 out of $120 million.
Yeah, that's a little low.
Because they can't say that oh, we're not making no money, because if you're paying like Angela Bassett, y'all paying her down there $10 million an episode.
Woo.
So you can't tell me that you're not making money off this show if you're able to pay somebody 10, what was it, 6 or 7? I don't know, but it's somewhere in the millions that she's making per episode. So you're not going to tell me you're not making money off. You're not going to pay an actor that much money if you're not making money off the show.
Hey Angie, let me hold something.
I know, right?
Woo,
but
child.
I feel like these actors. So like now that these actors are requesting to get paid more per episode, and I'm thinking like this is the reason why we get the shortened seasons, because they're like, okay, well, we're not going to do 22 episodes a season no more because that's going to cost us a whole bunch of money. And so you got to think, if it's 22 episodes and we paying this person $6 million per episode, add the shit up. But I'm just saying, that's why we're getting the shorter seasons, where we're getting only 12. It's like it went down to 12 episodes a season, then it went down to 10. So like Netflix, they used to do 10 to 12 episodes per season for the Netflix shows. They don't even went down to only 6 episodes a season. And then you got down there and wait a whole year to get another 6 episodes. So it's like, it's like we need change, damn it. Like y'all want to subscribe to all these different services and stuff like that and subscriptions, but then we gotta wait a year just get a new TV show to watch.
And I'll be waiting, boy.
I swear I'll be waiting. It's this show on Netflix I really recommend for y'all to watch. It's only 6 episodes. It's called Muted. Oh my god, it is English dub. I think it's that they originally speak Spanish on there, but it's all dubbed in English, so you ain't gotta worry about reading subtitles and nothing like that. And it is a very entertaining show. It has you on the edge of your seat. I cannot wait for the next season. I'm pretty sure Netflix is gonna make me wait a whole nother year for that season.
I actually scrolled past that and I think I put it in my my list to watch. At first I thought it was a movie, but you're right, it's a show, and I didn't have time to sit down and watch the show because I knew I was going to want to watch it all the way through.
Yeah, when you definitely get some time to watch it, you definitely want to watch it all. Because I got Max, I think I had started watching it at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Max had to be at work the next day. And I had got all the way down to, I had watched like the first 5 episodes, and it was like 12 o'clock in the morning. I said, shit, I want to watch this last episode, but I'm scared I'm going to fall asleep. So I ended up just turning it off and waited until I got home to watch the other episode. That's just how good that show was. Highly recommend it for you guys to watch it. Let's get into so y'all, I might have to cut this show short today. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't know if I should tell y'all this. I need to go take a massive poop. So if y'all can see this, for the audio listeners, y'all could have seen the face that Tina made. Don't judge me right now. Oh,
that is a damn shame.
Wait, because I was like, I made it all the way up until, because I ain't had to go. I was like, I made it all the way up until we got on the broadcast, and then it just hit me. That's because I was out working earlier, and it was an order for Dairy Queen, and I had got me some Dairy Queen while I was there. And I had got me an Oreo Blizzard, which I ain't had in years. By the way, Dairy Queen, your ice cream don't taste the same no more. It tastes like water. It was like, it didn't have like no, No sweetness. I don't know. It just tastes like watered down ice cream. Like like we leave ice cream in the freezer for too long, and it has that taste to it. That's what it tastes like. But I still fucked it up though. 'Cause I was about to waste $6. I still fucked that shit up. But y'all need to do better with your ice cream. I'm just saying y'all need to do
You
better.
ain't you ain't bring me no ice cream.
Oh, see what happened was I got lost on my way to work the other day, and then I had saw this other chick. I saw, hey, how you doing? She's all, hey, how you doing? She said, you still work at the place? I said, yeah, I still work at that place. I be walking around there every day telling people to go to hell. She said, you still tell people to go to hell? I said, yeah, and there a lot of people got to go to hell. And they were like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna have to tell people about taking souls and digging holes. She said, what? I was like, yeah, taking souls and digging holes. I joined the dark side, girl, the Grim Reaper.
What is wrong with you?
I've been hanging around Brody.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh,
A lot.
Black Panther.
Mm.
Anita Baker and Babyface. So Anita Baker has officially kicked Babyface off her tour. So Anita Baker was the headliner, and Babyface was the opening act, basically. So they tried to do like how Mariah Carey and Lionel Richie did back a few years ago. So basically, Mariah Carey opened for Lionel Richie. So I guess Anita Baker and Babyface are trying to do like the same thing, but I guess in one of the shows, and I believe in New Jersey, Anita Baker was like, well, I want to perform longer, so we're just going to cancel your part of the show.
This is why I never listened to her ass when I was growing up. Now.
She been acting like a serious diva lately. Like she thinks she the shit. Like, girl, just last year or the year or 2 years ago, you didn't even own your own music. What's his name? I think it was a J. Cole, or somebody had to help you buy your music, your masters to your music, so you can have control over it. So,
Sad.
girl, how dare you? How dare you? That makes me wonder. Like, girl, did you even write any of your music? Hell, like Babyface probably own half your music. The much music as he wrote, he got the nerves to try to kick him off the tour. Like, what is wrong with you? People is probably only coming to see this show because of Babyface.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, Anita Baker, you was doing a show in you was doing a show in Las Vegas, and you was up there singing "Sweet Love" very badly. Your background singer was doing all your high notes for you. You did not sing not one of your high notes on that performance I was watching of you in Vegas. You got the nerve to try to kick somebody off your tour. And I know some people might say Mariah ain't saying nothing. Her not. She's singing when she wants to. At least she lip sing them, and we can still hear her damn voice. Them people ain't gonna get to hear any of the voice hit a high note or attempt to hit a high note. The damn background singer did all the work. Yeah, they basically paid to hear the background singer sing. Shame on you, Anita. Shame. And this is why black folks don't like to tour together. This why there's always these bad reps and stuff when black folks go on tours together. You the reason why. You creating that image that black folks can't get along with each other, especially rich black folks. How you doing? Shame on you. I can't remember. It was some other stuff that was part of the show, but I can't remember because I just got mad.
It's all right. I didn't listen to her shit anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. I don't even think I ever heard my mama and them play Anita Baker.
My mama and daddy ain't got damn record out of all the records they got of her. Not damn one.
Oh, that's so sad.
Let me tell you what they do got. Babyface.
Who wrote some of the greatest hits of the 90s and early 2000s.
Classics.
How dare she? But
well, let her self-destruct in peace.
I I mean, at her age, ain't she already self-destruct?
Well, this is the second go round. This is the remix.
I was like, cause she down there 80, still acting like she in her early 20s, like she at the prime of her career. I bet you not one person that's 18 between the age, I'm gonna say between the ages of 15 to 25 know who Anita Baker is.
And then people like me don't even care. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, poor Anita Baker, girl. We root for you to get your act together. We're just gonna say that. Well, I'm rooting for you to get your act together because I don't think Tina rooting for you to get your act together.
How dare she do Babyface like that?
That was the last topic I finally remembered, y'all. School districts. So, a bill went on to the governor of Wisconsin desk today, which it was to increase the amount of funding that goes into public schools across the state. I believe I said for elementary schools, it was going up by $1,000, where I believe they get $9,400 some dollars per student. And for high schools, it's going up $3,000, where they will receive $11,000 some dollars per student. Now, if you're a small high school of about 200 students, to be honest, getting $11,000 per student is not a lot of money to work with for an entire school year.
Yeah.
But if you're a large high school, say for instance, and you have about 700 students or more, you're getting quite a good, decent amount of money. Yes, you're going to have to spend more money, but you're still getting quite a decent amount of money still to make this happen. If that make the school year happen, that makes sense. So what I was telling Tina, on top of that, so and now I guess on top of getting the extra money they get per student, some of the school districts are still going to suffer, because if your school is in a district where the homeowners pay, for instance, less than $2,000 a year in taxes, your school is still not receiving that much money and funding. Which Tina has said those are the districts that should be receiving more money, is the ones who are in the the impoverished area. But instead, if you live in an area where you live in a house that's worth $400,000 or $500,000, and say they paying $10,000 to $12,000 a year in property tax, those schools are receiving more money. So that's why we go to those school districts. That's why they have these big, large campuses, and every sports known to man, and every music class known to man. But then you go to the areas where it's mostly, low tax paying areas. Those schools don't have anything but the basic curriculums you need to graduate high school and get through school.
Do they even have that? Hell, they ain't got teachers. They be putting people in there that's not even teachers. They teacher aides, and they just babysitting these kids.
True. And they're at that phase where they're still giving out the worksheets, depending on what school you go to, what public school you go to. They don't even buy books anymore. They just have like one or two textbooks, and the teacher make copies of the textbook and say, well, this is your assignment for the week or whatever, and give the kids that and say, read that, and it be in a packet. Or they should just get a bunch of packets and that's it. I like, what are they learning from that? Like, what are they really learning from that? Like, I feel like inner city schools that are in like low and basically poverty areas, they are not teaching these kids. We wonder why the kids are not successful. So like the things they should be learning to school, say some of these kids do manage to get into a university, the things that they were taught in high school is totally different from how things should be in college. So now they're struggling in college and probably will drop out of college because they're struggling because they wasn't taught on the level where they should be taught. So then that's going to lead to more unsuccessful people.
And debt. Don't forget debt.
Oh, right. And debt.
College is expensive.
Right. So yeah, they get left with debt. So it's like for instance, like, oh well, you have to write a paper in a certain style. I was never taught how to write a paper in a certain style. And then your professor gonna look at you like, well, might have to just figure it out. Because depending on if you go to a large university, so like when I went, my professor is some depending on like if I had the class the large lecture. So I had a class that I went to that was basically like you want to go sit in the auditorium. That professor of that class only knew me by the last 4 digits of my social security number. I've never met the professor for that class. So like they would have like the classes where you go to like the TAs. It's like a discussion class where the TAs go over stuff. And you go to those classes. So the TA might know who you are by name, but the actual professor said like that professor teach that same class 4 times a day, and they teach it 5 days a week. You know, and more likely going twice a week to that class. So just imagine that college professor has over 1,000 some students that they see in a week. And you think that professor is gonna have time to sit down and be like, well, this is the correct way of how you write this. This is the correct way how you do this. No, they're gonna automatically assume that you know that because it's something that you should have been taught in high school or in basic public school period or school period before going to college. Which,
how about we teach these kids how to write cursive too?
Yeah.
Or tell time on the analog clock. Because, Lord have mercy, if the power go out, ain't nobody gonna know what time it is.
I swear. Oh my God, I swear. I actually seen it firsthand where I saw somebody who didn't know how to tell time on an analog clock. Because I'm looking at the clock like, oh, it's 1:25, and then I remember seeing on TikTok also somebody was like it was an analog clock, and I think the parent had asked them like, what time is it? And they looked at the thing, they said, and mind you, the clock said like 11:25 or something like that. And the person looked at the clock and said 5:11. I'm like, what? Mind you, the big hand was on the 5. The little hand was on the 11. And they could not tell the time. And it's crazy because I noticed at work now, because I'm used to seeing like the analog clocks in the hallways on the wall and stuff. I was walking through work the other day. I'm like, the analog clocks are gone. Like, what happened to the clocks? So, like, used to be clocks that, like, when I saw, like, if you walk through the back of the unit and you get to the bottom the nurse station that's in the middle, and you look up above the door, it was an analog clock right there. And then you go around, you walk around through the other hallway, going to the front of the unit to where the front entrance is at to the unit before you walk to where, like, the secretary and stuff sit. There's another analog clock above the door, that door. They're all gone. I'm like, what happened to the analog clock? And it's crazy because when I see that, and I'm like, it's crazy because I'm like, I'd rather tell time on analog clock than digital for some reason. I don't know. It's just a personal thing. I don't know. I just feel real smart that I know how to tell time on that. It make me feel smart.
It's scary.
It is.
It's really scary.
It is, and I realized how come we like I don't know if it's just an American thing or other countries, but I think we're the only country that doesn't utilize the 24-hour clock.
I'm not. I mean, no, because military and healthcare utilize a 24-hour clock.
No, I'm just saying like when I'm be on like TikTok with other people. And like I said, like I'm so used to using like the time that we use now. So like when we say it's 11 o'clock at night or whatever, we just say PM. So, but then like when I'm on like TikTok and I'm like talk to other people in other countries, they be like, "Oh, it's 22:05 here." I'm like, "Oh shit, let me go Google." Like, oh, okay, because I'm so used to the style of time that we use. And it's crazy because I used to be really good at military time with what we call military time, but they call it the 24-hour clock. I used to be good at it, but since I haven't used it or done it, it's like, I forgot. Like once I get past 18, I forget what each one is. So I forget. So it's
Ain't
like
nothing wrong with that, but it's you know how to figure it out.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So you know how to figure it out. It's not a thing. Once you get past 12, it's 13, 14, 15,
Yeah.
all the way around. Yeah, you just keep going. It's really simple.
Right.
So, yeah. And then there's something else I noticed, just taking Spanish for as long as I did, the dates. America goes month, date, year. A lot of countries go date, month, year.
Yeah. I feel like we're the only country that do month, day, year.
Cause we just gotta be difficult. Whatever.
Because when I had got my my certificate for the land that I had bought in Scotland, it had the day, month, year that I bought the little small plot of land.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's an American thing. America just got to be difficult. America just got to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
We always in somebody's business. Like I think that America eventually, I think they have found a cave full of lithium or something in Mexico, and America is trying to find some way to bully their way into Mexico and probably try to steal the cave and stuff and all this other kind of stuff. Like somebody had made a sketch that America was going say that they were in the area of the lithium cave to protect America against drug smugglers from heroin and crack and stuff and weapons getting into the United States as they excuse to being near this cave where all this lithium was found. Oh, I just shook my head like it's a damn shame. And why ain't nobody tell me that gas was so damn high?
How much did you pay for it?
Dude, I didn't know gas went up. Like I remember buying gas and it was like $3.40 something. I had went to the gas stations. I was trying to find some gas. Like, when did gas get $3.89 and $3.70 and $3.90? I'm like, when did it get so high?
I paid $3.77 today. Well, you know, it's a holiday coming. Come on now.
I didn't even realize the gas price because, like, I've been going so like I'm a Walmart Plus member. So when I go to mobile gas stations, I get 10 cents off a gallon. So I was sitting there pumping the gas or whatever, and I didn't realize the gas was that damn high because I'm sitting there pumping the gas. I'm like normally I don't pay this much for gas with the 10-cent discount. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I finally look at the price of gas. I'm like, God damn it, when did it get this high?
Mm-mm.
That's how y'all know I just most of the time I don't pay attention to the price of gas. Sometimes I just gas and go. I'm really gonna have to start paying attention to the price of gas for.
We know you rich.
What?
You don't pay attention to gas? We know you rich.
It's called credit card.
Oh.
Yeah, I just charged all my gas on a credit card. Then after 2 weeks, I just pay it. And then sometimes I go with one of my cars, I got reward points. So like if I go to a BP, if gas is like I think like $3.50 or $3.60 something, and this when I was using my points, I was getting gas for $3 a gallon with my points. So that's probably why I didn't realize gas was so expensive. Would get so expensive, and then yeah, even though I've had it since February, I'm still getting used to the gas tank on the SUV still.
I tried to tell him, y'all. He didn't want to listen.
I'm still getting used to it.
$100 to fill up your tank. It ain't that much no more.
I was on a quarter tank of gas, and I think I paid $3.67 for gas. I'm like $46. So like I'm used to paying like when I had my Altima, I was paying like from a quarter tank, I was paying like $30 to $35 for gas from a quarter tank of gas in my Altima. So I'm like $46. When I
was it take about $50 to fill up my tank. When I was driving through Illinois, it took $100 to fill up my tank. Yeah.
That is one thing I give Nissan credit for. I didn't have to gas up when I had drove out of town. I didn't have to gas. I can drive from here to St. Louis without having to gas up. St. Louis, Missouri, without having to gas. Which
Must be nice to have a new car.
I ain't gonna keep taking this from you.
Oh,
So yeah, and because I think I drove there and I got to like my Airbnb there, and like I got to the Airbnb, I think it said I had like 97 miles, so I was empty.
mm, mm, mm. Must be nice.
Well, you know what? This is why we put people of your age in a home.
I'm in my own damn home.
Oh,
Mm,
when they Merry Christmas.
mm.
So with that being said, because I don't know which one of these clocks is right, because on my computer where I'm like running the podcast, basically, um, it says that we have been live for 55 minutes, but on my phone it says we've been live for 52 minutes. So I don't know which one it is, to be honest with y'all. So, um, we're gonna head into final thoughts.
Final thoughts. So, I think what stood out the most for me today on the podcast is the allocation of funds to the public schools across the state. I really, really don't like the idea of how they want to decide that the poorer areas of the states receive less funding. I really feel like it should be an even distribution or even more for those lower income areas. I say this because um, I really feel like putting the extra effort into, getting more educators to come to that area, more extracurricular activities, um, different ways to learn because everybody don't learn by sitting and doing packets of paper. Everybody don't learn by reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
Just changing the overall dynamic um, of education because when I was in school, there was no YouTube. Internet became public. I want to say maybe when I was in middle school, about to go into high school, I didn't have computers in every classroom. My kids bring home laptops now, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like that there is better avenues to make it a little bit easier for teachers to teach all these kids that have different learning styles. And I mean, nobody wants to go to school and sit at a desk and do packets. They lose interest quickly. Make it fun. Give them the materials to make learning fun again. I want to see those science experiments. I want to go to a science fair, things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. Arts and crafts, stuff like that. Just listening to an orchestra or seeing a marching band, like how they do it in the South. I would love to see that up here.
And they didn't do field trips no more.
No, they don't do field trips no more. Where's the class trip? Where was the senior trip? Like didn't see none of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then just the increase in the graduation fees. I mean, I was paying fee after fee after fee after fee, and I'm like, this is a public school. I feel like I'm paying for my child to go to a private school, you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
and then in turn, my son that go to the private school, I don't pay a dime, and he has so much more. So it's wild. It's just a big, big difference in education. And I feel like it makes a difference in the child. It really does. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my final thought.
So I would like to add, um, so I don't feel like a lot of people are going to go into the teaching field just for the simple fact of how many mass shootings has been in schools. That's why I think that's another reason that's stopping people from going in the teaching field, and the fact that teachers if you are a new and upcoming teacher, even for a high school teacher, you probably only making about 35 to $40,000 a year. Is that really worth putting up with the kids for however long, 8 hour, what 8 to 9 hours a day, 5 days a week? Like, is 40,000 really enough for that? I feel like teachers, if they offer teaching jobs at a higher wage, then maybe they would have more teachers. Um,
Give
far
them
as
at least 50. Give them at least 50 grand.
right, and then like Tina said, far as the fees and stuff, like when I was in high school, I think my student fees was only like $150, and that was just for a cap and gown. Um, one of the things they did that my high school did was for the juniors and the seniors. Basically, they will put together a black college tour, and they'll load up all the kids on the bus, and they did this every year. And they will load up all the kids on the bus and on the bus, and they will take them to black universities, historically black universities. So, like, I had went to they took when I went, they took us to Howard University, and they took us somewhere in Philadelphia. But then on top of, you know, not just how can I put it? Not just going out to see the universities, but they took us to like went to go see like the Liberty Bell. We went to go see where they shred money at, where they probably print money at. We they took us where coins and stuff is made. They took us to Washington D.C. We got to see what's his name? Oh my, John F. Kennedy's grave site. We went to go see that. We got to go see there where Thurgood Marshall was buried at, and then the seniors who were graduating. So I think I actually did I go my sophomore year? For some reason, I went during my sophomore year. I don't know why. It was either my sophomore year. I can't remember when I went because I graduated high school early. So y'all got to bear with me. So like the seniors who were actually graduating the year that I went, they um they like branched off and went to New York for like a day or so, and they let them spend time in New York for the seniors who's gonna be graduating high school. So high schools don't really do that anymore. And I get that you have to pay teachers a little bit more money who are going on these trips because basically you paying them to babysit kids for 24 hours. So I get that you do got to pay them a little bit uh more money, and so but I feel like, and then the school, I believe they had got like grants and stuff, so like the school didn't too much have to come out of pocket, so that the school didn't too much have to come out of pocket, and the parents didn't too much have to come out of pocket to pay for the trip either. But I felt like that was a good experience, and I was actually considering actually applying when after I had visited Howard University, the campus. I was actually considering applying there for college when after we had left there. Like I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to go there, and I had a teacher who was like willing to sit down and help me do it. But then it was just like that fear of leaving home kicked in, and I just didn't do it. And I ended up not doing it. I feel like still wish that was something that I did. But if I didn't, but I didn't go, and I met Mary at UWM, so I kind of got another sibling out of that.
Hey, Mary girl.
And like I said, Sheena said, they need to make school fun again. So like I had teachers who, I think I said it before in the podcast. I remember I was going to school, and I was trying to figure out like why I wasn't grasping what was being taught to me. And and I was on Facebook, and I saw one of my old high school teachers. I had sent her a message like, "Hey, how were you able to get me to understand blah 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 blah?" And she said, because I had her from the time I was in 8th grade till I graduated high school. And she was like, well, I noticed that you were more of she said, you're not really a visual. You're more of a hands-on learner. You can learn some stuff visual, but you're more of a hands-on learner. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of makes sense. Like for me to grab stuff, so yeah, I got to be hands-on with it in order to learn what it is that I'm doing. And I feel like that was one of the things that really hurt me when I was going to college, was because everything is not very hands-on. It's just mostly you basically read the textbook and you do the work and you figure it out on your own. That was it. So yeah, they do need to, like I said, change the different teaching styles. Get rid of packets. That is most definitely a thing. Please just get rid of the packets. I think because the packets was starting to come into a thing like in my senior year. I would go to a class and it was just be like they just hand you a packet. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Um, and then as far as the computer thing, so when I was in high school, we did not have computers in the classroom. Like none of the classroom had computers. We just had a computer lab. Mm-hmm. But you only can use the computer lab, like the teacher had to sign a computer lab, and we were limited to how many times we can use the computer lab and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like an open computer lab. You just walk in and start using the computer. It was always locked 24/7, and it had to be a reason. So like, if the English class had a paper you had to write, then there would be a time where the English teacher reserved time for the class to go in there and work on the English paper. Other than that, we were not allowed to use the computer. So I didn't become proficient in a computer until well after high school, and I just happened to get a desktop of my own, and that's how I became to learn how to basically do stuff on a computer and the internet and all that kind of stuff. Because, like I said, computers wasn't just an option for us. I remember in 8th grade, we did have a class that's an hour, and it was completely online. We had to do this online program called Play-Doh, which is basically we did like math classes and shit on there and all that other kind of stuff. So, other than that, we didn't really use computers in high school. Basically, the computer lab just said abandoned. So, yeah, that was my final thoughts. We need to change the teaching system.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas. Well, then, with that being said, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Same Cast Different Day Podcast. Don't forget to head over to our Instagram at SCDD Podcast on Instagram. And on TikTok is SCDD Podcast also. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Same Cast Different Day Podcast. And then head over to Habits New York. I keep forgetting they changed their website. That's what be throwing me off. Because it used to be Habits 365. Now it's habitsnewyork.com. And use code Anthony43C 20% off your purchase. And repsports.com and use code Martell1 to receive a biggest 5 to 10% off your purchase. So thank y'all again for listening to this podcast or streaming this podcast wherever you are. I'm Martell Roland.
I'm Tina.
All doing a dramatic pause. And we'll see y'all on the next episode. Same Cast, Different Day Podcast. Wait, why are you still holding you? Wait, where's
my dramatic pause?
All right, we gonna see y'all. Okay, all right now. We gonna see y'all.
Bye.